A farmers group in the Western Cape by the name of Khoekhoe Stock and Crop Co-op recently received a much needed financial boost from Klipheuwel Wind Farm. Joining me now is Vernon Hendricks to talk about their support. Vernon, when and why was the Khoekhoe Co-op started?
We originally started in 2011, but was only registered in 2013. From the initial 18 founding members that we had, we only left with 5 currently as it is, 5 dedicated members. There are many reasons as to why people left the co-op. For example, they died, economic hardship, etc. It was started to create a livelihood for older, unemployed or retired persons, and to provide a sustainable source for affordable meat to the community that sometimes cannot afford meat prices from shops in our areas. All in all, job creation and hunger alleviation was at the bottom line. Also to instill integrity and honesty within our negotiations when we spoke to people.
Who are the farmers that form part of this initiative?
And the farmers we're a mixed bundle. All of us, the 5 that's remaining now, they are all over the age of 55 years old. We consist out of previously disadvantaged groupings, out of as per the Broad-Based Economic Empowerment Act 53 of 2003 and amended by Act 46 of 2013. We consist out of people with a farming background, mechanical background, carpentry, theology, and teaching. And those are it's from learning to write your name and those teaching to write your names. So yeah, we're a mixed breed, but we're comfortable together and we work good together.
And how will this funding from Klipheuwel Wind Farm be applied?
We started off with them a year or so ago, and we started off with perimeter fencing, which because the farm is quite far from where we live, and we need to protect the cattle and also the neighboring farmers. If the cows or the cattle break out, they might land into the road and it might present a problem. So we started off with perimeter fencing, and we completed that. And as a second priority, we started off with getting water onto the farm, sustainable water source. And we've just completed the borehole. And we're now in the process of testing the pressure inside the borehole so that we can get a suitable pump for the water that we would like to give to our cattle. There is a concept that people speak about, I think in the UK, about rain harvesting. So we are also now busy with harvesting. After that, after the borehole is established, then we will be busy with harvesting the water from inside into a dam, so that we can irrigate from there. So that is the 2 main focus. And then the third one will be to provide a source of feeding for our cattle. So we will prepare the land. We currently sit on a spot of land that is virgin land, which means that we need to prepare it to become a fertile space for us to become self-sustainable. And this is what we will need, what we will use the money for, as it is. And that would be currently what it is. It's a wonderful injection that we received from them, because from the 18 persons that we started off, we now 5, and reasons for that was because they could not afford to help with what we were busy doing. So what they are doing now is to help us to get onto our feet and to become a meaningful entity.
You also place a lot of focus on the improvement of your herd. How do you plan on doing this?
There are various ways in which we can improve the quality of the herd. For example, buying new stock or registered stock, which is a very expensive exercise. And there is the other option, and that is artificial insemination, which is also a tested means of improving. And there are, both of them has their pros and cons, but we will do everything that we can to have a sustainable crop, not crop, sustainable cattle farm, because we need to improve to get to the meat that we need to have. So yeah, usually the lifespan of a bull is around about 3 years, because then in the end the calves become smaller and smaller if it's mother and sister and so on. So in that way, it's better to go for artificial insemination, but it can also be a wasteful expenditure, because if you're not qualified to do the insemination, then you sit with a problem and you do the thing wrong. So yeah, but it's all in all, we want to improve the enterprise production and economic performance of Gouwgakoi.
Well, that was Vernon Hendricks talking to me about the Klipheuwel Wind Farm support they received for their herd. And stay tuned, late in the program, we'll be talking to Palmas Chetty from Klipheuwel Wind Farm about their financial support.
Burback, shaping the future of animal health.
Klipheuwel Wind Farm, which is part of the Global Group, not only assists in helping South Africa shift towards clean energy production, but also supports sustainable agriculture in the Theewaterskloof area. One of their recent initiatives include the funding of the Gouwgakoi Stock and Crop Co-op. Joining me now is Palmas Chetty, and he'll be talking about their funding to Gouwgakoi. Palmas, why do Klipheuwel Wind Farm place so much emphasis on the support of agriculture and specifically this project?
Thanks you, Lisa, for the opportunity to be interviewed today by your TV channel. I think the co-op itself is quite a large-scale agricultural project in the area when you look at it from a community-based ownership structure. And if you had to look at the wind farm itself and its operations, most of our operations are based in sort of rural peri-urban areas. And from an enterprise development perspective, if you look on the doorstep of Klipheuwel Wind Farm is mainly other farming opportunities. So in order to align our enterprise development program, we need to generally look at the farming environment as where we want to focus our ED initiatives. I think if I had to answer the question, just go beyond our existing operation at Klipheuwel, if you had to look at the 8 plants that we operate in South Africa, and if you had to look at some of the initiatives that we're driving throughout the African continent from a group perspective, our focus is going to be predominantly on agriculture. It's just the nature of the beast currently in terms of where our operations are based. If I had to look at it from a personal perspective, I've been involved in rural development for the last 12 years. And I feel it's important that we use the agricultural sector to try and boost the economic activity in our rural communities. And the long-term idea for me is to make sure that we can keep families together. If we are able to boost that economic activity in the areas where we operate, it tends to keep families together because there's an income being generated for that particular home. And it doesn't break a family up in terms of one person going away to the large city to actually look for work. So overall, I think, our focus is on this particular cooperative because we know they have the potential to create the jobs. We know that they have the potential to grow themselves into a reasonably large-scale business that's able to feed into market and feed a quality product into the market.
What would you like to see from the co-op, say, in about 5 years' time?
I think from a funding perspective, we would like them to be self-sustainable. So the focus over the next few years is going to be on stabilizing the farm, securing the operations itself, growing the current herd that they have, and growing to a stage where they are supplying the market on a sustainable basis. I think that's critical for us. If you look at what our program aims to do in terms of the training of the co-op members, the purchase of additional assets that we're looking at doing for this particular cooperative, the emphasis is going to be purely on creating a self-sustaining unit that's able to supply the market on a continuous basis with a quality product. The focus is on cattle farming, and we will continue to focus on that for the next few years. And if you had to look at the region itself, it is one of the best cattle growing areas in the country. So we can see that this particular co-op in the next 5 years should be in a position to be able to supply the market in a sustainable basis.
Well, our thanks to Parmes Chetty. He's from the Klipheuwel Wind Farm, and they are part of the Globalic Group.